Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. The Australian Grand Prix happened last week and I apologise for the delay in making this video, but it's better late than never. So here are, in my opinion, the highlights of the race. Firstly, McLaren fans have finally got something to celebrate. They got double points. And to make it even more special, Oscar got his first Formula 1 points at home. I know they probably wouldn't have gotten it if it wasn't for half the grid DNFing, but it's all about capitalising opportunities. Pretty much all Lando did last year was capitalise. When Red Bull, Ferrari or Mercedes made a mistake, he took advantage of it. And with the car that they have this year, that's pretty much all they can do. Now, you can tell I don't have many positive points because the next and last best thing about this race was the champions podium. There are 11 championships on that podium, and by the looks of it, we can just assume 12 championships. On a side note, Fernando has been on every single podium of this year. That's really not that interesting since it's only been 3 races, but give me a break here. Moving on to the bad parts of the race. The red flag chaos. I mean, I wouldn't have minded it if it wasn't for the fact that it screwed so many teams over. Firstly, Alpine. Pierre Gasly had an amazing race. He was keeping up with the faster cars, he had some good overtakes, good defense. But that red flag at the end though, made him collide with none other than his teammate. They were one of the 2 teams to have a double DNF, Williams being the other. The other team that got screwed over by the red flag was Ferrari. I know Charles DNF'd, and right now, Lando in the McLaren is ahead of him in the Drivers' Championship. But poor Carlos. The radio message was actually heartbreaking. I know he did make a mistake, but the situation just did not make that penalty fair. The restart was chaos. Barely anyone made it through without some sort of contact. Receiving that penalty under normal racing conditions, I would agree with, but not if they're finishing under a safety car, because there's no fighting back. They just have to accept it. Also, they went back a lap anyway, so he didn't get an unfair advantage from the collision, and Fernando received no damage either. If it was my choice, I would have just given him the penalty points because it was a mistake, but the 5-second penalty was too severe. The only good thing about this is that Yuki could get his first points of the season. Now, I do have some honourable mentions. Firstly, George Russell. He had an amazing race up until the first red flag, and then it all went downhill for him. Alex Albon also had an amazing weekend until he spun off, which, by the way, James Wells gave an excellent explanation as to why that happened, so please check that out. And finally, Sergio Perez, because he literally overtook half the grid. The only thing is though, I think Max would have done it quicker and reached a higher position, but Checo still did really well. And that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again at the next race.